If you are going in there half cocked every week and just being like going in like you going in mad, you ain't coming out happy, And it's just like what scenario when you go in like pissed and like disgruntled, you come out like, oh no, that was actually good. Like you have to go in with that openness. You got to go in with that like mindset where you're like, working at Dunkin', working at anything, like we're being a pipe fitter, being a plumber, being trades. Like getting into trades, getting into anything. It's just like the thing about trades is I think it's such a beautiful thing. Like I think it's just like the thing that I like, being able to go anywhere in the world and contribute, and like you could go anywhere in the world and be a plumber. You could go anywhere in the fucking world actually. And it's just like I can go anywhere in the world and cook. I could set up on a shop on a corner and get a little fucking hibachi and cook something and give it to somebody and make $1. That is really cool to me. That I can do that. That is like, that's the coolest thing to me. Like, pandemic, everything, my whole life gets washed. I get down to like no money, like I'm about to lose everything. And then I'm just like, it clicks. I'm like, I have to cook again. And I'm like, I'm going to go make barbecue. I'm going to go make barbecue in a parking lot and I'm going to sell it to people. And then all of a sudden, I got 1,000 people coming a day. Wow. All of a sudden, I was just like, oh. I just made hella money. Like, I was just like, oh. And then I took that and, like, flipped it into a Matty's Patties. And then I flipped that into fucking fun. Like, it was just like, I just took everything and just, like, flipped it. But it is, like, it's just, like, being like, no, you got to, like, it is the process. It is the work. It is, like, doing the job, which is, it should be very fulfilling. You're like, plumbing is, like, an integral part of this whole world. It's that's the thing is like everyone's got a twist. Trades should be like held in this high respect. We need that. Needs should out like why the fuck everyone's watching fucking Fashion Week? It's just like people should be watching fucking Plumbing Week. Where's Sharks Week? It's like it should be like, dude, look at there ain't no stonemasons.
Yeah.
It is a wild thing because it is it's true. Like a lot of people are leaving. The restaurant industry. A lot of people are like, there's a mass exodus in a lot of like trades and things and stuff like that, where it's just like, if we all stay and if we all do what we feel is best, won't that industry ripple? If everyone dips, then who's left to change and who's left to uplift and who's left to like bring this new knowledge and this new language and like new understanding to these people? If everyone dips, it's just like, okay, all the assholes are left. All the people that are just like chew you out all day and like berate you and make fun of you and belittle you and like call you names that like make you feel like you're a piece of shit. That's not cool. Like we need to be like, don't dip, stay, change from the inside. Growing up in a small town, I was like a fat hardcore kid with like dyed black hair and nail polish and fucking, like whatever. I was like a freak. And so it was just like one of those things where it's just my brothers were like norms, fucking construction guy and a fucking roofer, and they used to make fun of me because I wanted to watch like Basquiat movies and like look at art and like check out shit, and like they'd make fun of me for like watching like fucking or like listening to hardcore and like be like, what the fuck is this bullshit, and they're listening to like Creed and you're like, oh my bad, yeah, let's go. But it is just getting to the means was to get to the city. I didn't have to take out a loan. And, so it was just like anyone can get in, it seems, like it's not like one of those. I applied to 4 different colleges. And I only got accepted to one, and it was Humber, and it was my cooking school. So it was just like, I just went to cooking school so I could go to Toronto, and like my parents would pay, like I was going to go to the dorm. I'm good for a year. I just knew that I didn't want to take a year off because everyone that takes a year off seems like they don't leave. I wanted to leave. I wanted to go to Toronto. I wanted to fucking like go in the alleyways. I wanted to fucking go to the parties. I wanted to be in the like a major thing. Like it was like growing up. Like the thing, I was very influenced by early 2000s Vice, watching Iraq and like watching Dash and watching like all that shit and McGinley and like all those, watching that stuff from afar in early 2000s was like, that was it for me. That looking at those Vice magazines in a small fucking town. Being like, that's what I wanted. I wanted the fucking hamster nest. Like I wanted to do drugs with my friends and piss in each other's mouths and fucking do it. Like I wanted to get squirrely. And I was like, I ain't doing that. Like here, it's like, okay, we're gonna go have a bush party, get in a fight with a bunch of dudes, and like every weekend just fight each other. It seems, and just go into a bush party. But it's just like I want to go to Toronto and find like people that wanted to go to art shows and go to like fucking do shit and like be like, I don't know. There was no like that town wasn't for me. That lifestyle wasn't for me. I didn't want to work at Walmart. You know, I could have gotten accepted to any one of those schools and been like, oh fuck, I'll go to Windsor. I'll go wherever.
And then that became your whole thing. And you actually love cooking, right?
Cooking's the greatest thing in the world. Cooking gave me everything. That skill. The thing about college is like I never felt self-worth like that before. I was never good at science, gym, and I was just like, what the fuck? We're running around playing lacrosse. Like fuck all this shit. You know, like I was just like, I don't like lacrosse. How the fuck? I gotta play lacrosse. Like my parents, like me and my brothers, we all played lacrosse. I'm like, why the fuck do we gotta play lacrosse? Why the fuck do we gotta do? Why the fuck am I doing any of this shit? Like I hated everything. I hated everything. Like I just wanted to like. I didn't know what I wanted, you know? And then I went to cooking school and I found something I loved. And that I was somehow, I had a natural ability towards. Where I was just like, oh, I was never good at skateboarding. I couldn't write graffiti. I couldn't do it. Like, I didn't have a hand. I couldn't do anything. I never had a thing where I was just like, yo, this is me. And then cooking school gave me that. I was like, oh, I'm getting like 90. I'm getting like perfect grades. Because I can debone a chicken, I can make it stock, I can fucking listen to my chef just told me to make hollandaise and showed me, and I just did it. Okay, I just made hollandaise. Like this is school. Let's go. I'm doing this. And then it's just like when I dropped out, I went on tour with my friend's band, and then when I got back, like I never told my parents I dropped out of college, and so like they always thought I had like a diploma or some shit. So like they never even knew I dropped out of college. And then back in the day when you used to just walk around and hand out resumes. And so like I would just like walk around and like hand out resumes at restaurants. And then I got a call back from Le Select, which was like the oldest, best, most prestigious like bistro in Toronto. And I went there and that's where I cut my teeth and like came up and like I just worked at like the most banging bistro in Toronto and just like that was my crew. And it was just like, you know, it was like college gave me like a self-confidence and like I could do something and feel good about myself about doing something. And I loved it. Like I didn't make any money. Like I would work for 2 weeks and like get a check for like $600 and work at 15-hour days. I'm just like, let's go. Even like with my cook, I want to make people laugh and get stoked on cooking. That's why I make my videos. I think it like people will watch it and make them laugh. That's a fucking win. And if they actually cook and they cook something good and they share it with people are eating fucking good food and then they feel good about themselves and like there's a positive ripple in that.